dropping on. Appreciate it. Amir Coffey, 14 points, 5 for 11 from the field, 9 in the fourth quarter. And the Clippers come away with a win over Sacramento. We'll step aside. Adam Osborne will take the reins. For Carlo Jimenez, RJ DeSanto, our engineer, Alan Brown, our statistician, Zach Ricaldi back in the studio with Adam. See you on the flip side. Clippers improve to 5-4 as they take down the Kings 107-98 here in the Clippers Audio Network.
The Clippers hold on and come through late up in Sacktown. It was a 4-point game with just minutes remaining, and they hit 3 straight threes. And Norman Powell drops 31 as they win 107-98 over the Kings. Welcome into your postgame show. I'm Adam Osborne. Coming up, second half highlights. But first, back out to Carlo Jimenez in Sacramento from Golden One Center. What a victory. What a performance by this team. It wasn't pretty. 8 turnovers in the fourth. I'm sure we'll be focused on that, but they stepped up when they had to late, Carlo.
Yeah, they stepped up, Adam. They played their brand of basketball, and Norman Powell and Amir Coffey got it done for this Clipper team down the stretch. 9 in the quarter for Amir, Norm with that big 3, and really started, Adam, with what you mentioned, maybe the best stretch of the year for Kevin Porter Jr. 9 in a row, probably should have been 11 if he wasn't called for the travel driving to the rim. The Clipper bench had 4 total points late in that third quarter. They finished the game with 25 from their bench, 14 from Amir, and the other 11 from KPJ. Impressive stuff for that group on an impressive win, and you just got to keep building. But, man, this Clipper team, Adam, we talked about it after the last game against Philadelphia. They seemingly have found their roles in this team and have found some sort of identity. And I'll tell you what, The math is mathing right now for Norman Powell. The math is mathing. Addition by subtraction is looking to make a whole lot of sense.
Mr. Negative right now is doing a lot of positive things for the Clippers and Norman Powell. What a performance. A double-double with 12 boards. Only Zubats had more for them. I mean, I can't say enough about what Norman Powell has been able to do with the departure of Paul George. He wanted this opportunity, and he is absolutely making the most of it, Carlo.
He's doing everything right, Adam. He's efficient. He's effective. He's getting rebounds. He is playing at an elite level through 9 games, and it just continues to happen for him night after night. He looks comfortable out there. This is his 5th game with 5 or more threes. He did it 4 times in 82 games last year. I mean, he is just playing on another level for this Clipper team, and it's so fun to watch. I mean, when Norman Powell's bringing the ball down the left wing and he gets into that hop step, you know the ball's going up, and you almost know it's going in. He looks so comfortable, so in rhythm, so locked in, a true sniper for this Clipper team from the outside right now. He told us, I mean, let's be honest. He told us. He said he could be a starter. He could be an all-star. He could average 20 in this league, and he is putting money where his mouth is right now for this Clipper group.
And he's cashed from distance. And by the way, when they're loading up on him off of that double or triple team when he was driving down the lane, that kick out, I believe, was to Derrick Jones Jr. for the final 3-pointer to really put this one away after the Clippers had some careless and unforced turnovers in the 4th quarter. But they came through in Sacramento against a squad that was a top 5 offense entering this ball game. And Carlo, for the 2nd straight game, their defense held a team to just 98 points.
I mean, Sacramento, Adam, shot 11% from 3. 3 for 26.
Fries from 3, 11%?
11%. Sacramento, oh my gosh, they were looking for any sort of help from 3-point land, but they were a lot more expensive tonight. This Clipper team made it tough. The Kings under 100 points today. 31 from De'Aaron Fox. You get 23 from Sabonis, but not a lot of help anywhere else. And Keegan Murray goes 2 for 10. Kevin Huerter 2 for 5. The Clippers hounded the Kings all game long on the defensive end. They made nothing easy. And the Clippers also had them crash the offensive glass like no other. 12 offensive rebounds leading to 18 second chance points for your Clippers. The hustle stats were excellent and all in the Clippers' favor. It was fun to watch them be a group that we know they can be, that Brian Shaw told us about. He said, look, if we want to win games in this NBA, we have to play harder than the other team every night, and the Clippers are doing that through these first 9 games.
Yeah, it is impressive. They are building up that identity, and they're just strengthening it every game. They're now 5-4. This was the front end of a back-to-back. They're coming home to Intuit Dome, conquering heroes after taking down the Kings. They will be taking on the Toronto Raptors tomorrow night from the Dome. Dome is home. Tip time for that one at 7:30. We'll have your pregame show starting at 6:30. Carlo Jimenez, safe travels. See you at Intuit Dome tomorrow.
See you at Intuit, Adam. Let's go.
Coming up next, second half highlights. Clippers win 107-98 in Sacramento. And you're listening to your postgame show right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers win in Sacramento and hold the fifth best offense in the league to 98 points. They win 107-98 at Golden One Center. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is your Clippers post-game show. Still to come, we'll get to your post-game box score. And on AM 570 LA Sports tonight, we got Clippers talk for you. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Let's get to second half action. Clippers led by as many as 10 in the first half. They were up 51-45, 24 minutes in. In the third quarter, it was rough. It was tough basketball to watch. I felt like there was a whistle every possession the first 5 minutes of the third. But a theme so far this season, and a guy they brought in right away after they cut ties with Paul George, they went a different direction. They were looking for more defense and a 3-and-D guy that could be elite there. His name, Derrick Jones Jr. Couple of big threes there in the third quarter from DJ. Clippers led 78-73 heading into the fourth quarter. To start the fourth, KPJ, 9 straight points for the Clippers. That was huge. They were up by 16, but it was down to just 4 with minutes remaining as Sacktown made a push, and the Clippers continued to turn it over. 8 turnovers in the fourth quarter alone. But that's neither here nor there when you hit clutch 3 after clutch 3 like this down the stretch. What a 9-0 run by the Clippers. They finished the game on a 9-2 run. They finished off the Sacramento Kings winning 107-98 in a pack div contest for the ages for your Los Angeles Clippers. This was a big victory. They're back above 500 at 5-4, and they're coming back home to take on the Toronto Raptors tomorrow at the Dome. Coming up next, final box score and your calls, 866-987-2570. We got Clippers talk coming up tonight. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers hold another team to 98 points, a top 5 offense in the league in their own house. Clippers 107, Kings 98. Clippers leave Golden One Center and head back to the Dome to take on the Raptors tomorrow night victorious. Welcome back into your post-game show. I'm Adam Osland. Huge victory, Clipper Nation. Coming up on AM 570 LA Sports, we'll have Clippers talk for you. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. The Clippers were up 16, but the Kings weren't going away. It was down to a 4-point game at 98-94 after DeMar DeRozan hit a midi, and then Norman Powell 3, and then Amir Coffey 3, and then Norman Powell on the kick out to Derrick Jones Jr. after they doubled him for 3. Unreal. Clippers win 107-98. What a performance late. And this team showing off how they can step up in a big game. As they're 3-0 on the road, by the way. Clippers ended up shooting just 44% from the floor, but 14 of 30 from 3. They're about to be, I think, at over 38% from 3 on the season now. Last 3 games, they have been hot from distance. Meanwhile, Sacramento, story of the game, 3 of 26 from beyond the arc. I told you they hadn't been shooting it well. I was worried at some point they'd catch fire. It never happened. Credit the Clippers defense some and just inordinate amount of cold shooting. Clippers still had 21 turnovers and 8 of those in the fourth quarter, but they only gave up 17 points on those 21 turnovers. They got 15 points on the 14 turnovers from Sacktown. So Clippers did their job of getting in transition when they could. Norman Powell, 31 points, 10 of 23 shooting, 5 of 9 from distance. 12 boards, 2 offensive rebounds. Norman Powell is gone radioactive, as Brian Seaman would say. He is backing up the talk. Talking the talk and now walking the walk. He said it. Addition by subtraction. Take that for data. Outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until tomorrow night. 6:30 is your pregame show. Clippers taking on the Toronto Raptors and into a dome. But coming up next here on AM 570 LA Sports, we got Clippers talk. Cue the Buckethead guitar. The Norman Powell Rangers are taking over. Norman Powell with 31 and 12 boards, and the Clippers win 107-98 in Sacktown over the Kings. Welcome into Clippers Talk. Go, go. Go, go, Powell Rangers. Welcome into Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Osland. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570. If you're listening on the radio side, you just heard, I believe that is Buckethead on the guitar for the Power Rangers anthem. I'm not joking about that. Zach Alcaldi, our producer, will check on that. But Norman Powell, or Stormin' Norman Powell, whichever way you want to say it, addition by subtraction. The guy's taking over the league. Talk your stuff. It works. He said it at Media Day. I think his addition by subtraction losing Paul George. Paul George, he had 9 points against the Lakers tonight. Went 0 of 6 from 3. You know what Norman Powell just did? He just eviscerated the Kings. 31. 12 boards. Are you kidding me? And a key pass late to Derrick Jones Jr. for a three-pointer as the Clippers went 3-3-3. Not 4-4-4, Moses Malone style, but they knocked down 3 threes in a 4-point game late to put this one away. Clutch shots. It was Stormin' Norman Powell. Then Amir Coffey is for closers. And, of course, DJ, airplane mode as they're flying back to Intuit Dome with that last three-pointer there to put this one on ice. They take down the Kings 107-98. This was a victory, Clipper Nation. 3 in a row for the Clips. A good victory. One I wasn't sure if they could get. Not in this fashion. The Sacramento Kings were 5th offensively, as you would imagine, heading into this one. They've been good offensively the last couple of seasons. And the Clippers shut the water off again. After holding Philly to 98 points, they hold Sacktown in their own house to 98 points at Golden One Center. This team is fun. These guys are gritty. They play hard. Sure, there were some turnovers late. They made up for it with the threes. I can't say enough about this Clippers team and Norman Powell. And Amir Coffey with 9 of his 14 points in the fourth quarter. Clutch. How about Kevin Porter Jr.? He had 9 straight early in the fourth quarter. Different guys stepping up at different times. James Harden had 15 points in the first quarter. Offense was a grind here and there. I mean, they didn't score in the second quarter. They didn't have a made field goal till about the 8:20 mark. And then they did it again in the third. And their defense was so good, it didn't matter. They could go into these deep offensive funks and just hold down Sacramento, who win. This might be a franchise low. The Kings shot 3 of 26 from 3. In my game preview, I told you about this team has been struggling from 3 going back to the preseason. It has been spooky how bad they've been from distance. It feels like a hex. They got some kind of seance they got to use to get out of this funk from distance. Like, this team is cursed right now from 3. But then De'Aaron Fox, the first shot of the game was a three-pointer, and I thought, here we go. Of course they're going to come out of the funk against the Clippers. Nope. They only hit 2 more the rest of the way. 3 of 26 is 11.5% from 3. I can't believe what I just saw. The Kings were that bad. And they have very capable shooters. Malik Monk, 0 of 3. Keon Ellis, 1 of 3. Trey Lyles, 0 of 2 from distance. De'Aaron Fox, 2 of 5. Kevin Huerter, 0 of 3. Keegan Murray, 0 of 6. Are you kidding me? DeMar DeRozan, who had been shooting it well from 3, actually, one of the few guys on the team, he went 0 of 2. De'Aaron Fox gets 31. It doesn't matter. Domantas Sabonis had 23 and 12, and he didn't feel it. Big Zoo had 15 boards. He had 13 and 15. This team, special, inspired basketball. the type of brand of basketball that Clipper Nation has been known to love. We got to screen some calls here. 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570. But I could not be more proud of this group being above 500 right now, with a chance to start off the first 10 games 6-4 if they win tomorrow, back home against Toronto, a team that's really struggling. I think they're still last defensively in the league. You got to build off of this. Hey, I got a question. Was something born out of that 26-point comeback against San Antonio? Can we say that yet? Was something born out of that victory? Then they beat Paul George in Philly. And now they come through like this in Sacramento, 3 in a row. It's early, but the personnel is there to be this good defensively. I'm not shocked, but it's been even better than I thought so far. Hashtag JVG for MVP. Jeff Van Gundy for MVP. He's been that good. This team right now, just an unbelievable defensive performance against Sacramento. I said it around the 6 or 7 minute mark. I put the tweet out there. Check it. I said Sacktown is not getting to 100 points tonight. They almost did. 98. You hold a team under 100 in this league. I think the worst team last season in the NBA averaged 106 points per game. The worst team. The worst offense in the NBA. Averaged like 106 last year in the NBA. Back-to-back games, you hold a team under 100? Are you kidding me? This is incredible stuff by this Clippers team. And when I thought they were about to give a game away with 8 turnovers in the fourth quarter and just some boneheaded ones, instead, 3 straight three-pointers. Ridiculous. First Norm, calm everyone down, then Amir Coffey, then Derek Jones Jr. Just clutch shot after clutch shot, doing what Sacramento couldn't, hitting big threes. Difference in the game, and it showed itself out late. This is special. Joe in Lake Forest, who I think was in the chat here on the Clippers Talk side on YouTube a little bit earlier. Joe Rosenfeld, I think this is. Joe, what's up? You're on Clippers Talk with Adam Osland.
Clippers content is A+ at all times. So addition by subtraction, I love the equation, but I think I found it. It's Clippers minus 13 equals 24. That's all I have to
say. Clippers minus 13 equals 24. I mean, I get it. Minus Paul George, minus PG-13 equals 24 Savage, Norman Powell's number. What a badass. I haven't seen something like this in a long time, where a guy calls his shot, says it's his time, put me in the starting lineup, I'll show you what I can do. Some guys wait for this moment, this opportunity, and they lose themselves, Eminem style. They can't step into the bright lights. They can't deliver. When they finally get it, they can't make it happen. Meanwhile, Norman Powell, thriving as a starter. He's been the best player on the team. He's been one of the best players in the league. What are we talking about? Does Norman Powell have the most 20-plus point games so far this season, Clipper Nation? I'm asking you. Does he? Norm is destroying worlds right now. Norm is doing some pioneer stuff where other teams are going to be like, maybe Sacramento's going to be like, man, should Malik Monk, should we give him more of a leash? Like, look at what Norman Powell's doing now. The Clippers are giving him this opportunity. I mean, he's a killer. Last season, he's closing out games last season with the Powell Ranger lineup. And he was shooting something like 55% from the floor and 46% or 48% in fourth quarters from 3 last season. He was the best crunch time performer for them. Nobody was more clutch than Norm last season in the fourth. Not Kawhi, not PG, not Harden. it was Norm. Now he's doing it for 4 quarters. What are we looking at? Norman Powell was shooting from 3 heading into this one 48%. After this game, where he went, what, 5 of 9 from distance? Is he going to be over 50% from 3? 5 of 9 is 55%. It might push him over 50% from 3 9 games in where the Clippers are 5-4. He shot 44% from 3 last season. This is not a fluke. We just didn't know what we were going to get once he had to play more defense and go up against starters and get doubled and get schemed and have teams focus in on trying to stop him. Look at this man. Norman Powell is scoring like we wanted to see Paul George at times, just more consistent with it. Not riding a wave. He's just getting you 25 plus every night. This is incredible. It's early. I know. But damn it, if you want to be excited about this team right now, enjoy it. I still got another game coming up tomorrow. It's big. Taking on the Raptors. Back it into a dome. Julian in Whittier. Julian, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Oslin. Julian hangs up and gets scared. Obviously not a Norman Powell type. When the pressure was on, he shied away. Not Norman Powell. Not the Powell Rangers. Not the leader. I don't know. Is he Jason? He was the original. Then Tommy took over when he became the White Ranger. After that, it gets a little convoluted, and I couldn't keep track. Ninja Zords, Power Rangers in space. All I know is Norman Powell is playing like an all-star. He's playing like a first-team guy. Clippers win 107-98 in Sacramento over the Kings. More Clippers talk coming up next year on AM 570 LA Sports. Norman Powell. Stormin' Norman does it again. Drops 31. Matches De'Aaron Fox with his production. And it's another 5 3-pointer made game for Norman Powell as the Clippers win up north 107-98 over the Sacramento Kings in Golden One Center. This is how many 5 3-pointer plus games Norman Powell has already this season. 5 in 9 games. Incredible. Welcome back into Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Osland. Huge victory, Clipper Nation. If you're in the chat and you're not scared, you could call in. We're live on AM 570 LA Sports, 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570. Don't say you hate your voice. You get used to it over time. Trust me, I used to feel like that too. Bonesaw says the bow-legged sniper with Norman Powell. That is one of the nicknames. Let's bring in producer Zach O'Caldy. He's head of research here too at AM 570, at least during Clippers Talk. Zach, I asked you to check out a 20-point game so far this season. Lay it out for everyone.
Okay, so it looks as if Jason Tatum
here. And then it looks as if Norm Powell is tied for second most at 8 with the likes of the European MVP people such as Giannis, Jokic, and the future MVP Doncic.
I actually think SGA is getting it this year, but Doncic will be right there with him, of course. Is this not impressive? Are you not entertained? Okay, how many guys? I got a new one for you, Zach. If you got the Zach, as Petros would say. How many guys have more games so far with hitting 5 3-pointers or more?
Effort.
I know you're going to have to go to Steph Curry, although Zach's quick with it. Steph hasn't even played 5 games, I don't think, so far. So he might be out. That might make it a little bit easier for you. Guys, this is special. This ain't some Linsanity run. This is a guy who has been good, who has averaged 20 per game before, who was a starter in Portland. They had a great offense. He was next to CJ, next to Dame. Now it's just him, James Harden, and Ivica Zubac with the starters. And Norm is a bucket. Addition by subtraction. We're going to hear from Norm in a little bit. We got some post-game audio for you. But these are the type of guys I love to root for. Somebody who has been underrated, counted out, didn't make top 3 of 6 man voting last season, even though he led everyone with points off the bench last season, didn't get into the All-Star game 3-point contest, even though he shot 44% from 3 last season. Understand the grind. That's what Norman Powell would say. He's been through all this. He wasn't supposed to be this level of scorer coming out of UCLA at all. This is somebody that works tirelessly. Prime Norman Powell is upon us, as AL says. No L's for this Clippers team over their last 3 games. 3 in a row. Trying to make it 4 in a row. They're back in Toronto. They're back taking on Toronto tomorrow at Intuit Dome. You will be entertained. Believe that. Gladiator 2, I don't know if that's going to be very entertaining. I worry about a sequel that comes out 25 years later, and Ridley Scott's a little bit washed right now. Not Norman Powell, the age of 31, getting his big show opportunity. Lights not too bright for Norman Powell. Amir Coffey, again, coffee is for closers, as Brian Seaman would say. Just coming through down the stretch of a ball game. Coffey got this whole thing started. Without his big performance, I think 21 points in their 26-point comeback against San Antonio, this winning streak isn't happening. The good vibes from this team not happening. Man, I'm loving this Clippers group. The defense leading to offense, leading to Norm buckets. Some of the shots he is hitting right now, guys, the confidence is at an all-time high. He started the 4th quarter with a 3-pointer and then hit the biggest shot of the game when it was a 4-point game, was just a few minutes remaining, which got everybody else to have a little bit more confidence offensively. Amir 3. Derek Jones Jr. 3. Derek Jones Jr. has been an amazing pickup for this team. Are you kidding me? Speaking of addition by subtraction, Paul George leaving opened up the non-taxpayer mid-level exception. Who'd they use that on? Day one of free agency, hours after they said they're cutting off ties with Paul George, basically in a statement. The negotiations were over. Wasn't going to happen. Derek Jones Jr. was the guy they brought in first. I said right then, oh, I see. We're leaning into defense. You can't make up for the lost scoring production from Paul George, or maybe you can now with Norman Powell. So let's lean into defense. Derek Jones Jr., 5 of 8, 4 3-pointers, and a huge oop off a pass from James Harden. Just unbelievable. Zach's still efforting.
No, I got it.
You got it already?
Right.
Tell me it's Norm. Tell me it's Norm with the most 5 3-pointer games.
So again, it's Anthony Edwards, number 1.
What? How
Yeah.
many you get?
He averages the most 3 points made this year so far. So he's been averaging, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the month of October, he's had every single game of at least 5 or more threes. That was
Made.
4 games, correct. And then to start off November, he's already had 3 games. So that's a total of 7.
All right, I love Ant.
Right.
I'm okay with him being in front of Norm. Who's next?
Jason Tatum is second.
I got no issues with Jason Tatum. He helped beat the Lakers. I got no issues with that.
But also, they have the most games played so far. The Celtics have played 10 games thus far in the season.
Fair.
And then you're tied with Norm, and I believe it's LaMelo Ball.
Tie goes to Norm. I don't know why, but Charlotte, I think, is under 500. The Clippers are over 500. That's why. Not bad company, though. LaMelo, it's good to see. It's good to see him back. He can entertain out there. He's balling. I see it. Well done, Zach O'Caldy, our producer here and head of the research department when it comes to figuring out just how great Norman Powell has been. Zach, can you do something else for me? Can you go to Law Murray, the NU on Twitter? I think he has some post-game audio from Norman Powell that I want people to be able to hear. They see it. They see the performance. Now we want to hear from Norman Powell, who has let his play do his talking for the most part, but he's also done a little bit of talking and has backed it up the entire time. I'm seeing that apparently Jeff Van Gundy challenged him to rebound in this one. Oh, he did that in spades. 12 boards. Of course, there were many rebounds to be had with the poor shooting from Sacktown. 3 of 26 from 3. Are you kidding me? This team right now, guys. Norman Powell, what he's been able to do, I cannot say enough. Here he was post-game in the locker room, I believe, speaking with Law Murray of The Athletic.
For you to get that monkey off your back?
I mean, it was never a monkey on my back, you know. I played a game to win. I think last year I had a chance to remember like 1 or 2 of them, but Tila took me out the game. So I blame him for this being my first double-double. But JVG got on me, shoot around last game about my rebounding and going to get the ball. So I just made it an emphasis to make sure we crash because they've had some games where they've tied it up off tip-ins and stuff like that. So just making an emphasis to rebound the ball tonight.
What's it like for you to actually pursue rebounds? Like, it's one thing to get stops, be in your stance and everything, especially from a guard position. What's it like to turn around, check out, make sure you're consistently getting on the ball and in those possessions?
Just discipline, you know, especially with them and other teams. I'm usually guarding the 3 or the 4 guy, and he's always crashing. So just making sure I get a body on him. A lot of the times, you know, I'm just making sure that he doesn't get the ball and making sure that, you know, Zoo or somebody else can clean it up. But you know, just hitting, checking, and making sure that I'm in the rebounding area when shots do go up.
There was Norman Powell post-game speaking with Law Murray of The Athletic. Oh, we had him on pregame. I did not know and didn't have a preview of Norman Powell rebounding like this. Jeff Van Gundy is old school, and they're listening to him. He's a legend. He's a defensive genius. Do you see what's happening out there? I got to update you on the advanced stats right now because I think they are updated currently. The Clippers, I want to say, what were they heading into this game? They might not be updated. It still says 4th defensively, 21st offensively. Now, I understand the offense without Kawhi Leonard is going to struggle. But guys, you see the potential with a team like this. You see the amount of dogs on this team, as everyone's saying. We need a dog sound effect. Because Chris Dunn started that. Chris Dunn had a ridiculous rebound. I think it was in the first half. You guys know what I'm talking about? Chris Dunn got a board over Alex Len. How did that happen? But this team, they are battling in a way, and they are constructed in a way that if you just get Kawhi Leonard back, it's on. It's on. That's all you need. All this talk about they need a power forward, they need Zach LaVine. You know what they need? Just get Kawhi back. I think he'd fit in seamlessly. And these deep lulls where they start the second quarter and have like 4 points the first 6 minutes, early third quarter struggles too, that's handled. Kawhi's getting those tough buckets. And then defensively, they're even better with Kawhi. Godspeed, Kawhi Leonard, getting healthy. Please, we need it. That will feed families. Kawhi Leonard on this Clippers team with the way it's been formulated with this roster. I can't say enough about the defensive effort and the way these guys are playing. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. Clippers win up in Sacramento 107-98 over the Kings. They're back home tomorrow taking on the Toronto Raptors. Tip time 7:30, pregame 6:30. I'm Adam Oslin. This is Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. Norman Powell getting his respect, finally. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. Clippers win 107-98 up in Sacramento. Norman Powell, 25-plus again. This time, 31 points, hits 5 threes, and has 12 boards. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number if you'd like to get on to Clippers Talk. Front end of a back-to-back. Clippers back home tomorrow taking on the Toronto Raptors, who are struggling, and they just lost to Sacramento in Sacramento the other night. Norm going rated R on the regular. People saying Norm is on his bully S. That's the point that I made the other night against Philly. Well, Paul George would leave you wanting more and didn't always back up the tough talk. Oh, it's happening right now with Norman Powell. He called his shot, and the shots are falling. He wanted to get in the starting lineup. They can't take him out. Best player on the team right now. I do think Harden, you might be able to say, is the most impactful player because the ball's in his hands a ton, and Norm can't create off the dribble like that, but he's getting better. We've seen him get better. I mean, that pass he had out of the double team to Derrick Jones Jr. for the final three-pointer in that three-point stretch to end this ball game, I don't know. Norm's looking good. Norm's looking impressive. He had that pass to the oop for Derrick Jones Jr. against Philly off the dribble. These live ball off the dribble passes from Norman Powell are looking different. Not to mention the between the legs, then kick out to Terrence Mann in that game against Philly was insane. Terrence Mann is struggling, guys. I can't defend it. Oscar asking, what's up with Terrence? Confidence, I think. I don't know how else to put it. He's not even looking for his shot often. It is frustrating right now. Terrence Mann, he did have, I want to say, no, that was last game. Terrence Mann in this one, I'll give you the final line he had because it was more of the same overall. I thought there was some progress against Philly, against San Antonio a little bit, but he went 0 for 4 and 0 of 2 from 3. 2 points coming at the charity stripe. Now, for those who will use the plus minus against him when it's bad, will you still do it when it's good, even though the rest of his stat line isn't that impressive? Because he was a plus 17 out there. He led them in the plus minus category, a plus 17. And the starters went plus 10 in the first, 8 minutes of this ball game. Before they made their first substitution in the first quarter, the starters went plus 10. That's as good as they have looked to start a quarter so far this season. That first quarter by the starters up 34-28, and they led by 10, as many as 10 early in that first quarter. I mean, they were good. By the way, give it up to Kevin Porter Jr. I was frustrated with his play, saying maybe you got a bones here. It doesn't look like he has it. And then fourth quarter, KPJ and 1. Then gets to the free throw line jumper on the right elbow. Then has a scoop layup with the right hand, and then to the rim again with the left hand. And then he had a steal. It was a great play, but then he traveled. He almost had 11 straight points, if not for that travel. He had 9 straight points for them early in the fourth quarter. Huge buckets by Kevin Porter Jr., guys. I don't think they're going away from him. He's doing just enough to hang in there, I think, to continue to get minutes. I mean, I get it. I get the frustration at times. And this team down the stretch with some of those turnovers, a backcourt violation. James Harden had a few of them. I want to say they had 8 total in the fourth quarter. Let me see how many James Harden had in the fourth quarter as well. I want to say it's just fatigue, but some of these are just really careless passes. So he ended up with 3 turnovers in the fourth. 3 of their 8 turnovers as they got to 21. How are you winning a game where you have 21 turnovers and the opposition has 14? It's not easy. They still won the possession battle when it comes to shot attempts, 81-78. So you look at offensive rebounds. Clippers with 12 of them. Kings with 5. I never would have thought that they'd be this successful of a rebounding team heading in to this season. But James Harden's getting like 8 a game. Wasn't his night tonight. Just 4 boards, but Norman Powell gets 12. And Big Zoo gets 15. Big Zoo had some timely buckets, I felt like, too. Love seeing that. Zoo had the hook over Sabonis to get him up to 16 in the fourth quarter. Clippers up by 16. Sabonis came back at Zoo on the right block. But, I don't know, Zoo's team won the game, and he out-rebounded Sabonis. Sabonis had more points, but he was 9 of 12. Avisa Zubac 6 of 9. And Big Zoo is averaging over 30 minutes per game. That's all I ever wanted. He's at 35 minutes per game so far this season. That's all I ever asked. People in here are saying, like Tom Raines, and this is a timeout, because it's zero understanding and sympathy for a guy who's legitimately hurt. If you're going to say stuff like Kawhi is not only stealing money, haha, he's burning up our cap space, like, if you say stuff like that for a guy who gave his ACL to the team, a meniscus, trying to win them a championship, like, it's not his fault that his body's breaking down. Blaming the player for that is ridiculous. It's his fault that he took the contract extension? No. We're not doing that here. That's not the way. It's illogical, irrational. It makes zero sense to blame a guy for putting it all out there and getting hurt. Were the Clippers going to win in 2021 if Kawhi doesn't tear his ACL? I fully believe so. And he's had issues ever since. So, come on. We got to be better than that. People are talking about Musa and Brandon Boston playing well, but Musa's at Charlotte. Brandon Boston's in New Orleans now. He's getting a bigger opportunity. I said it. This is part of the point that I made early before the season started of why Jordan Miller needs to play. I said this on Clips and Dip. I said, would it surprise anyone if all of a sudden Brandon Boston turned into a rotational piece in the NBA? It wouldn't surprise me. He just never had the opportunity. I get it. The Clippers were in for sure win now mode. You're playing next to Kawhi and Paul George. You're not going to get many minutes. But this season, I think Jordan Miller can still play. I think he can help them. But it's not an easy decision. Everybody wanted him to play over Amir Coffey. You can't play anyone over Amir Coffey now. He's finishing games. It was he, DJ, James Harden, Norman Powell, and Avisa Zubac before Batum came in for Big Zoo late that closed this one out. I just want to see a healthy Kawhi again. Desperately. Because I think this team really suits him. You wrap this team around a healthy Kawhi Leonard, you got a shot against anybody. At least in the West right now. Even against OKC. They're still young enough where you might be able to get them before they get too much experience. If that was a 1-8 matchup and Kawhi's healthy and the Clippers are ready to go, I'm okay with that. That's not impossible. Man, this team, you start to think of the possibilities. But we still don't have a timeline on Kawhi, so it's a little bit pointless to speculate and start thinking about that. Just focus on what they're doing right now. By the way, Trenton Flowers, their G League team tonight, San Diego Clippers, dropped 20 points. 2 blocks, 3 steals. That came from Law Murray. Norman Powell's the story, though. You need a big bucket. Just fine. Addition by subtraction. There aren't many players that I could root for and be happier for to have this type of performance game after game than Norman Powell. Guys who have earned this. And he is rewarding their faith in him. How many off seasons have we said, Norman Powell might be the trade piece? Who knows? How many times have we said that? It's not that we didn't like Norm. It's just How many guys do they really have that are sought after? Norm's one of them. Well, you can't lose this guy now. He means too much. And if for some reason they did have a season swoon where they're 10 games under 500 by the trade deadline, but Norm's still putting up numbers, his trade value goes up even more. I don't want to see that right now. I don't want to think about that. Alfonso Lopez says in the chat at Clippers Talk, Kawhi slander has got to stop among Clippers fans. There's too much of it outside the Clippers fan base. We can't feed into that. Remember who Kawhi is when healthy. He's the most Jordan-esque player. Kawhi is a basketball demon, a demigod. And he's always, so far, when he's come back from injury, he's only gotten more and more efficient. He just set the efficiency record last season over a 30-game stretch. 55, 47, 90 splits over a 30-game stretch. So I'm still holding out some hope. Yeah, we've had our heart broken before. He hasn't been able to stay healthy multiple times. But, man, I'm just hoping. Why not? You can just envision this team with Kawhi and how good they can be with this defensive mentality. This fits him. James Harden running things. This works for him. This is such a well-constructed team. I want you guys to give Lawrence Frank some love too. A lot of love. I told you. I posted all those pictures of Lawrence Frank superimposed onto some chef during this summer whenever the Clippers made a move. I said, Lawrence Frank's cooking. I'm telling you guys, he's cooking. Do you see the vision? They're going to be a great defensive team. Batum back. Derrick Jones Jr., Chris Dunn. Dogs. Add that in with Terrence Mann, Ivica Zubats, Amir Coffey. They got defenders coming from everywhere. They're shrinking the floor on teams. Coach Lou said at pregame with Carlo Jimenez, but it may have been a good thing that they saw Tyrese Maxey right before De'Aaron Fox to just get warmed up for a player like that. Now, Fox still had 31, 12 of 20 shooting, but it's minus 11 out there too. Clipper stars were good against Sacramento starters. They really were. Chris Dunn just went 0 of 1 from the field, but you still felt his impact out there in his 18 minutes. And that offensive board he had, or that defensive board, I should say, against Alex Lynn was just like, what? On the right block? Out rebounding a 7-footer like that? And by the way, there's something else that has developed here, guys. Kai Jones might be out of the rotation. I'm sorry, Kai Jones Hive, but the Clippers have gone small with Batum playing the 5. Kai Jones just, I'm not saying he's fully out. Against certain teams, I think you're still going to need him, but the play has been too up and down and too many downs recently. It's just hard to trust a guy. He just seems so raw, out of position at times. You know, he can get up and have those crazy oops. He had another one from a half-court lob from James Harden recently, but we haven't been seeing much Kai Jones the last couple of games, and I think he may be out of the rotation. I don't know if that means someone else can get in or they're just going to cut it down to 9. Juan Angolo said, I heard commentators say Clippers, Celtics, and Thunder are the only teams with double-digit leads in each game. Drive-by Buddy says, fourth quarter is all we got to worry about for now. Oh, is that all? KPJ did good in this game. You can tell he took the slander personally. Like to see it. I don't know if it had anything to do with the slander. I mean, he's been getting raked over the coals at times by Clippers fans, but you got to, like, the 10-game sample ends tomorrow. That'll be game 10. So we'll see what Coach Lou does afterwards. Scott Tran says Kai Jones needs a post move when the dunk isn't there. Have you seen his footwork? He doesn't have a post move, man. It's not. He's very, very far away from having a post move. I'm sorry. I love the guy. I'm a big Kai Jones fan. I hope he's not fully out of the rotation, but maybe they're expecting also Mo Bamba to come back sooner than later. I don't know, but this Clippers team, they are deeper and more defensive oriented than I think anyone thought. And Jeff Van Gundy is pulling off miracles right now too. I saw this tweet on Twitter from AJ Diggs saying, I remember people laughing at Bro for saying he wanted to be an all-star or a starter, talking about Norman Powell. Played with 4 Hall of Famers and accepted his role. All he's done is eat off the plate given him. Every summer, he's went in the lab and just grinded. Opportunity and preparation meet. It's nice. Yeah. The prep was there. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Norman Powell, this is a really special run right now. I don't think the percentages are going to stay where they are all season long. Let me see if I can get an update on what exactly he's shooting so far this season, 9 games in. Yeah, I got it for you. Nah, it's still not updated. Son of a... I think he might be at 50% from 3 through 9 games. And over 25 points now because he was averaging that coming in, and he just had 31. Clippers win 107-98. They hold a team under 100 for the second straight game, this time up in Sacramento. They're coming home, back to Intuit Dome tomorrow, taking on the Toronto Raptors. Tip-off is at 7:30, pregame at 6:30. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization. Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call, Zach O'Caldy, our producer tonight here in Burbank. Thank you, Zach. Until tomorrow, starting at 6:30, Clippers, Toronto Raptors from Intuit Dome. We'll have your pregame then. Love you guys. Clippers Talk After Dark. I don't know. Follow me at Follow Adam A, and you'll find out.